Around the world and in religions from all over, many people are taught that if they just do enough good here on earth, they'll experience paradise in the afterlife. They think that being good is enough to get into heaven, so to speak. But this view is not what the Bible teaches, and it raises a whole lot of questions. To start with, how is a good person defined? Who gets to create that definition? Do you? Do I? What if we have different definitions of doing good? Is a good person someone who hasn't committed any serious crimes throughout their life? Or maybe a good person is someone who has dedicated their lives to ministry or to working at a homeless shelter once a week. Or maybe it's working there every day. And then just how many good deeds is enough? Do I have to do something good once a week? Once a day? How much exactly will count to being good enough? If 51% of my actions are what I think is good, is that going to be good enough? And can the other 49% then be bad, be not so good? There's an endless stream of questions that we can think of here, and everyone will add different thoughts. So there's no clear way to answer these. The Bible, however, is very clear, and that's the standard to look through for this kind of question. In Romans 3:12, we read, "All have turned away." All. No exceptions. And a bit later in Romans 3:23 is the fact that for everyone has sinned. We all fall short of God's glorious standard. Again, all. No exceptions. Every one of us has fallen short. Now you might be thinking, this is pretty harsh. Everyone has fallen short? But you never murdered anyone, so maybe you must be higher up on the ladder than the murderers. Or you know that you've never committed adultery, so that has to count for something, doesn't it? In James 2:10 we read, "For the person who keeps all the laws except one is as guilty as the person who has broken all of God's laws." Sin cannot coexist with God. No matter if you've only broken one of God's laws, that sin cannot coexist with God. Now, for a non-Christian, this can be an overwhelming statement to process. It could seem like a serious negative, like there's an impossibility then of ever entering heaven. It can seem like there's no hope. And without Jesus, things would be very different. But God did send his Son for you. What God provides us through Jesus is a path so radical that it often doesn't make sense. God loved you so much that he created a way for you to be with him in heaven. And that way is Jesus. Not your own good works, but Jesus. In Romans 5:8 we read, "But God showed us great love for us by sending Christ to die for us while we were still sinners." You have been made right with God, not through the amazing good works you've done or trying to live a perfect life, but by the grace and love of Jesus. That is the path to heaven. Putting your faith in Jesus, the Son of God. It's a gift so awesome that we don't have words to properly describe it. You, right now, are loved by God. You, right now, are loved by Jesus. You, right now, have the opportunity to turn to him, to put your faith in Jesus as your Lord and Savior. And through that, you can experience the true and incredible freedom that only he can offer. The fact is that none of us can save ourselves. We don't have that power. We've all fallen short of God's standards. But because of Jesus, this isn't a cause for feeling down. Rather, it's a cause for celebration and joy. There is hope, and that hope doesn't rest in me or you or any pastor. Rather, it's a hope that's only found in Jesus. He came into this world to provide salvation, giving you a gift that is hard for us to fully comprehend. And that salvation is not based on you being good enough or doing enough good deeds to offset anything bad that you did during your life, earning enough points in the good column to outweigh the points in the bad column, with the hope that'll be sufficient at the end of your life here on earth. What all this means is that first, no, you cannot do enough good to earn your way into heaven. But second, you can live with that burden released off of your shoulders. It's not a weight you were meant to carry in the first place. You are not to carry the weight of trying to live a perfect life. Instead, live your life for Jesus. Put your hope and your salvation in him. He is the one who will give you rest. He is the one who loves you without conditions. And he's the one waiting to welcome you into heaven with arms wide open. Hey, be sure to subscribe to this show and leave a review. 5 stars is, of course, the desired number of stars. Your subscriptions, your ratings, your reviews, they really help other people find the show. So thank you for that. And head over to significantman.com and subscribe to the Intel email series. Every week, I write a short message of inspiration, devotion, something for you to think about during that week. It's fast, it's free, so head over to significantman.com and sign up for Intel today. All right, enjoy the next show.